Hello, I'm Dr. Carl, and while there are a number of reasons I got involved in the men's rights movement, perhaps one of the biggest, not the biggest, perhaps one of the biggest is what a nightmare the dating scene has become for men, largely thanks to feminism. Now, I was chatting with a female men's rights advocate recently, and she said it can be pretty nightmarish for women as well, and you know what? It could be. I'm, of course, not as familiar with that. But I wanted to talk about why it is for men. First of all, for at least 30 or some years now, feminists have pushed the notion of sexual harassment. Now, of course, honest harassment is a horrible thing. But the problem is the definition is so vague and it's applied so arbitrarily, or worse yet, weaponized for political or personal gain, that it's made legitimate dating or even just interactions between men and women a minefield. And what's worse is this is a minefield where the mines can go off literally decades later. You know, whenever a man tells anyone, male or female, that he's interested in a girl, all the advice is, well, what are you waiting for? Go for it. Tell her how you feel. Don't be shy. But if she later decides she didn't like how it went and it was harassment, well, guess what? You're a disgusting creep that nobody wants to defend. Furthermore, girls say they want nice guys, and perhaps many do, but it seems like so many of them say they want that, lecture men on the proper way to treat women, only to turn around and date the biggest loser jerks there are. Furthermore, sorry, I accidentally hit the pause button there. Furthermore, since so many of these nice guys are lonely, many of them actually end up going out with prostitutes. But feminists in many cases want to ban that, or maybe ban the buying of sex but not the selling, based on this notion that the people doing the buying are exploiting. But I've read articles from strippers and prostitutes, and their point is, who's exploiting whom? In many ways, it may be the other way around. And I remember seeing a great article by a prostitute in Australia where it's legal. And she talked about some of the great guys she's been out with. One spent hours putting together a romantic playlist for their date. She said, if you saw the two of us walking down the street, you would never know that we're not actually a dating couple. And she had a great line. You wonder where all the good men have gone? Come to our brothels, you'll meet them. Indeed, it's often been said, the nicest guys are the ones without girlfriends. And then after all of this, by the time women get to about 30 or so, many of them suddenly are ready for the nice guys. But after that point, if he's not already married, he's probably full of all kinds of anger and resentment, understandably so. And many of them then try to shame men for not willing to date single mothers. Whereas, again, note the contradiction. The more standards she has, the more secure she is. The more standards he has, the more insecure he is. Now, how does that make any sense? And on top of all this, anytime men speak out about this or even unrelated men's rights issues, they're then called incels. And then when feminists describe incels, what precedes is the description of an abusive loser jerk who are often not incels. And to what extent are these women who are post-wall saying, where have all the good men gone? Why can't I find a good man? Well, aren't they female incels? And yet we're supposed to have sympathy for them. But nobody cares about some of the great guys who can't find girlfriends. And again, they're mockingly called incels. So what I'm asking is, can society please finally clear this up? Can we have clear standards about sexual harassment? And can we address this notion of the jerk appeal in women? I'm Dr. Carl. Enjoy.